How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. So today we're going to be discussing the Agilite pincer placard and how has it performed. Now, first off, why do you care? What I'm saying is, well, I have used this in a lot of training scenarios and some operational situations with this plate carrier and the placard itself. So I have some understanding, plus all the other ones, crazy amounts that I've used throughout the years of me being active duty military. So I'm going to express my opinion on this placard, how it performs, how has it worked for me, maybe some of the downsides, stuff like that, in my opinion. So let's get this out of the way. First off, I am not paid to do this review whatsoever. I get to say whatever I want. Yes, Agilite did send me just the pincer placard itself. They said, here, test it out. Let me hear your thoughts on it. They don't tell me what to say. And the benefit is I can say whatever I want. And that's what literally I do on all of my videos. Fully independent, not paid. So, of course, this is riding on an Agilite K0. And I have really liked this carrier over several of them that I use. And you can talk to anybody that has ever talked to me. I do recommend it. I get zero money for this, by the way. If you buy 1,000 of these, it doesn't matter. I don't see any money. So I have no stake in the game. It doesn't matter if I, sell how many, whatever they want of them. But getting into the performance aspect of it. Now you know my relationship with them. How has this thing actually performed? Well, when I first got it, I actually didn't really enjoy the look of it. And I know it doesn't really matter. It's about performance and then look. But we all know there's that looking cool type of aspect that, sometimes sneaks in there. Is it relevant? Probably not. But when I first got it, I wasn't really stoked on how it looked. I thought the rubber on top of this looked kind of goofy initially, and I thought it was like, okay, why did they put that on there? Like, it looks odd. The more I use it, I found out there's an actual reason for them like reinforcing the front piece. One, for abrasion purposes, and two, the bottom of these, including what you can't really see behind this, I'll try to roll some close-ups, is it's like an elastic, and the top edge always frays on elastic. We all know this. I mean, I use inner side elastic just frays. So they put a rubber barrier around it to stop that from happening. And as I continued to use it, then I understood, okay, that makes sense why they're doing it. But first, I didn't really prefer how it looks. And then moving into, how does it lay? Okay, so the G hooks or these hooks, acceptable. I think they're good. They're not going to come off of there. There's the buckles. I don't really like buckles personally because they're thicker and they take up a little bit of like space on your carrier. Like when I'm running an ATAC system or a WARTAC system or however you classify the type. I don't like having buildup, so the hooks are nice because they're flat. They are a little bit more difficult to adjust, but at the same time, on the back side of this placard, they are adjustable in Velcro. So if you want to run your placard lower down, higher up, it can easily do that if necessary. Now the level 2, right? This level 2, I ended up getting separate from Agilite. I wanted to test it out, and this has like a whole bunch of admin stuff in it. I have extra batteries, like a CBurn kit in here, like an extra strap for my gas mask, a smaller light, gloves. There's a couple other little things in there as well. And a notebook, like a small little spiral just to take notes and stuff. Not big on space, but again, if you're going for more slick, kind of mindset, and you don't really like running admin that much, but there's just a couple items you like to keep on you, this is a pretty good upgrade to get into. So, is it effective? Yes. It is a bear to get on there though. You will need a multi-tool. But for the most part, once you get it on there, you're good to go. If that shies you away from it, I think that's kind of petty. It is difficult to install, but you will go through some of the pieces, but it's rock solid. Once it's on there, it's not getting torn away or anything like that. Another interesting note is the pistol pouches on this. They are kind of at a 45-degree angle, as you see here. And initially, I wasn't really in love with that, and I didn't really like it, to the point that for a while, I didn't even run 3 magazines up here. I put another magazine like on my side, and then depending on what my loadout was, like if I needed 4 magazines or I needed, you know, a full set of, you know, 210 rounds, it just depended on the mission that I was on. But then sometimes I would run my pistol mag in here or here. I didn't really like the offset, but then as I started to use it a little more, these pouches are very, they retain the magazines very well. Now the M4 pouches or your rifle magazine pouches, they're kind of sticky. I don't know if sticky is the right term. The elastic really holds on to them. So they're kind of difficult to get out, but in a way that's kind of what you want. They're not impossible. They need broken in. When you first get them, you put your magazines in here, you're gonna go, wow, these things like really retain the magazine. But then after you use it for a couple weeks, you're gonna be like, okay, this is where I like it. So like you can jump, you can move around, and even though it doesn't have over the elastic pulls, for the majority of the time, it is going to keep magazines in here. I have never lost a mag yet in this setup. And I have, you know, done combatives and we're rolling around and all kinds of stuff like that. I have not lost magazines. I've had lost other things on this, of course, that are not fully tailored down, but for the most part, it holds your magazines extremely well. Now, of course, you can run this slick. You can put the pistol pouches on here. The pistol pouches do come with a Velcro keeper that goes over the top. So if you are concerned about that next level of retention with magazines, flashlight, whatever you want, sure, it can accommodate that. These don't work great for flashlights, for example. They are specifically pretty much built for magazines. So when you try to put other items in them, they're not that great, but they're not intended for that use. So I'm not gonna hate on it too much. Next is the chem sticks. They actually have little keepers on the inside of this that you can put pens and stuff. I put 2 chem sticks in here, mainly just for marking, of course, structures, windows, doors, I mean, casualties. Just insert the reason to carry them here. I do occasionally use them and I found them to be beneficial. Granted, this isn't a philosophy use over why do I carry certain things, like in some of the other stuff on here, like Spiritus stuff and, you know, Feral Concept stuff is on here. There's a lot of different stuff on this K0 placard, or the plate carrier, and then of course the placard onto it. I used to run the HRT Maximus placard. I really like that placard too. It's just noting the difference between the two. You just got to do what you like. I think this is a fairly acceptable placard and it works very well. Now, I'm gonna lay this down actually, and let's just dive in really quick to show you underneath. Now, it's nice because they do drain. The bottom here is not fully shrouded, so if you do lose rounds, you have the potential of losing actual ammunition out the bottom. Granted, that happens once in a while, but if you're really playing rough, that's just the name of the game. So as you can see, if you look here, these are all adaptable for height and whatnot, and then the admin pouch like attaches itself to it. Hook is really great. The loop, granted, it just depends on what kind of carrier you're running, but I have found this thing to be extremely rock solid and beneficial. And personally, I'm going to continue to use it until something else comes along and I decide to change it out. But I'm fairly happy with it. It has worked, it has performed in, again, training scenarios and operational scenarios, and a lot of my coworkers are going to these too. Aside from, you know, not even like Agilite reaching out to any of them. They just research, they look, and they're like, hey, I want this, and they go with the K19, the K0, and then the pincer placard, and they're stoked with it, and it works fairly well. So that's just pretty much my quick rundown, my real world use with this thing. I haven't had any issues with it. It's been performing really well. So other than that, here's my overview or my review of it, and I think it's an acceptable product, and I think it is worth your money. Granted, you have to make that decision if it's worth it for you, but for me, you know, I would purchase it again if it was me, but everybody's different. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, want to see more in-depth stuff, definitely like, subscribe, leave me a comment, description box below. What is your preferred placard? What has worked for you? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Just send it. I want to hear what is kind of noteworthy out there for certain plate carriers. It's interesting hearing back from you. So if you guys want to get more involved, we have PayPal and Patreon. Patreon, you get a direct line to me. You can talk to me at any time, message me. You get behind the scenes, that kind of stuff. We also have patches and stuff for Prepared Airman patches if you're interested in supporting and you want some merchandise and just, you know, that kind of stuff. It is there on Big Cartel website in the description box below. I'm also going to put some links in the description box below for these products. Again, I don't make any money off of it. It's just an easy click for you in essence. So, yep, that's all I got on it. Hope y'all have a great day.